How come they're getting a ticket there, mate?
Huh?
How come it's getting a ticket?
Is it your car? Or just for information you're asking?
Just for information, yeah.
It's a taxi rank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so taxi rank is not allowed.
So it's illegal to park in a taxi rank?
Yeah. So when they get a blue...
You get one as well?
So what happened? Yeah, what happened is when the blue badge is issued.
Yeah.
So it's issued with a booklet where it says where they're allowed to park and where they're not allowed to park.
Yeah.
So
he's disregarded the rules, so he's getting a ticket.
Yeah, he's getting a ticket.
Yeah.
You can appeal it.
What about this one with the blue badge?
The same, it's both blue badges.
You can park here with a blue badge?
No, you cannot park.
So is he getting a ticket as well?
Yes, getting it.
Even though he's disabled?
Yeah. So what happened is they can appeal it.
Yeah.
And then see how they can tell the reason why they parked it there.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I thought with the blue badge, see? I thought with one of them you're allowed to park.
You're allowed to park on single or double yellow line, but they're not allowed to park
in a designated area.
Yeah.
And what about them? They're not allowed to park.
Yep. So this one double yellows.
Yeah, they're allowed to park there.
If there's no curb marks, you can see the curb marks, double curb marks.
Oh right, yeah.
So if there's double curb marks, you cannot park. But if there's no double curb marks,
a disabled badge holder can park there.
For 3 hours with a parking ticket.
What about police vehicles?
If they are duty, the emergency vehicles.
But what if they're having something to eat somewhere? Can you give them a ticket?
No, because it's emergency vehicles.
So you're not going to give them a ticket even though they're illegally parked?
All emergency vehicles we're not allowed.
Can you identify yourself, please?
Sorry?
Identify yourself, please. Have you got a card in the designation card?
260.
So you're going to allow them, but you're not going to allow a disabled person, even though
vehicle.
but it's not on an emergency because you should have its blue lights on.
We don't know what's going on, but we're not allowed to.
I know, right, that they're having something to eat, and that's not an emergency, so you should be giving them a ticket.
How you know that they are eating?
Because I've been sitting here for a while, mate. I'm waiting for them to come back to ask them, to move the vehicle because they are illegally parked, and they are. They're not in an emergency, mate. There's no emergency lights. If they should, and they shouldn't leave it unattended. So I want you to go and put a ticket on their car.
What happens is sometimes they go inside the pedestrian zone area or they can't drive into it. So they go by walk and deal with the situation.
In an emergency situation. I understand that. I study law, so I know the law. So and I know for a fact that they are illegally parked because they're not on an emergency call. So you should give them, by rights, you should give them a ticket. And you're not. Why? Because they're exempt for some reason, which they're not.
260 to control message.
See, I know the law, and that's what I do. I go down them and audit it, and I make sure that the laws.
Yeah, I'm on Stanley Street. There are 2 vehicles in contravention and taxi rank. So I issued one of them. There's also police vehicle there. And one member of public came with the phone filming me and asked me to enforce to a police marked van, and said that they are eating somewhere. So why are not you issuing to that police vehicle? So what shall I do in this situation?
Give them a ticket, mate, because they're breaking the law. they're breaking the rules.
The vehicle's marked up, did you say?
Yeah, it's a normal police van.
They've left it unattended, and it's not in an emergency situation. I've just saved you from a ticket there, mate. I've just saved you from a ticket there.
I parked here because that police van's parked there.
Yeah, I know exactly. But see, Daddy's just said they'll allow him. I wasn't going to give him a ticket, but he was going to give you a ticket, so I stopped him because disabled badges, you're allowed to park on double yellow lines, but not. This is a designated area. You're not allowed. He
said.
The
only reason I parked here was because that police van's parked there, so I made the assumption of a police van's parked.
But you just because 2 wrongs don't make it right. That's how they see it in law. You see. So I've been here all day waiting for these to come back because they're breaking the law, and that's what I do. I video the police breaking the law and hold into account.
Well, I can't park over there because you have 2 yellows.
No, you can't park here. But next time you know anyway. So if you leave anyway, you've got 5 minutes to leave, and they can't give you a ticket.
This one, this blue badge.
I know. I parked here because that police van was parked there. I just thought it was a.
See, by them doing that, they're encouraging other people to break the law.
Emergency vehicle, we are not allowed. One of the fire brigade, ambulance, police.
But he's been there for as long as I've been here.
On emergency calls, they're allowed, and not on an emergency call.
You can do separately challenge to police about it.
But you've not done it, have you, sir?
I haven't done it. But next time, please.
Yes, no.
Don't
park.
I
know I couldn't park over there because you've got the 2 yellow.
Yeah, but this is taxi rank as well. If the time plate says No stopping 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. except taxis.
It's what it is he's saying is, right, it's a designated area. It's not part of the public highway.
No, I appreciate that.
So
thank you.
I've saved you from a ticket anyway. Mate, you have a good day. God bless you. But see, everybody should obey the rules. You can't have certain exemptions for people like...
I've asked my supervisor on radio.
Yeah.
And he said to me...
I'm not here to get at you, know.
Then, bottom line is that police vehicle you cannot enforce. I told him the situation.
Yeah, but if they're illegally
parked... Have you seen them going inside or eating or something?
No, I haven't. No, that's just an assumption. That's why I'm waiting here to find out why if he was on an emergency call, you see. And they've got to tell me if they was on an emergency call, because they can't tell lies on video, because I will follow this up. No, Andrew James Cooke, Chief of Police, he resigned after paperwork I sent in. I don't say it's because of the paperwork, but I put him on lawful notice that his directions, right, his constables are following directions of him, which is breaking the law, because acts and statutes only carry the force of law by consent, and if people don't consent, they can't force them on people, and that's what they're doing, they're breaking the law. Yeah, sorry mate, go on, you do your job. So, yeah, I'm in.
What's my pay?
There's a pay display at this side. That's not the taxi there.
I can't park here.
They can't park here. Park on the other side.
See, you're not allowed. But if you're a policeman, you are, according to them, that they're breaking the law. They do, but they're not supposed to, are they? That's what I'm here to do, make sure they do. Have a nice day, mate. God bless you. Is that your car?
Ah.
Yeah, no.
No, I ain't got 7 kids.
Just because it's a car with 7 seats, it doesn't mean they have 7 kids.
No, don't worry.
Go on, mate, you can give them a ticket. They can appeal as well, can't they, if they want, just like these?
Because I asked my supervisor, said,
that's favouritism. That's a favouritism. They're breaking the law, don't mate? They've got to adhere to the law as well, you know.
If you want, you can separately ask police for.
Yeah, I will want to see them. I will want to see them, yeah. It's going to go all over social media as well. That's why God put me here, mate, to make sure that everyone follows the rules, not just them force them on us. Thousands of people died in this country to protect our human rights, our inalienable rights and our common law. And if they are breaking that common law because they introduced a new system called the legal system, and they forced them rules on people, we've got a law to protect us from that. See, every man and woman in this country, right, has the right to choose whether they want to consent. That's why we're governed by consent, you see. And if you don't consent to the government, you've got no authority. That's the law in this country. But you're just forcing it on people, and they're breaking their own rules. So you see how it works? You can't just have one rule for one and another for another, can you? And you know the people pay for these streets? Belong to the people. So why did we have to pay to use them when they paid to make them? You know what I mean?
You can speak to your ward councillor or your MP about it.
Oh yeah, I do, yeah. I've just been in the court, mate, and arguing the case with them. And he said to me, I can leave if I want. So what did you summons here for then? So they had no authority, and I proved it in court that they had no authority to tell me what to do without a signed agreement. And I've just proved that in the court. And
okay, wait, so I'm going now.
I see. And you're going to give them a ticket? No,
I don't think that's right. And
your supervisor's encouraging you to break the law, you know that, don't you? Do you know in Germany after the war, do you know they all got executed for following rules, for following orders were unlawful? Do you know that? No. Yeah, they all got executed. The Nazis got executed, right? Because they said we were just following orders. Because the government said that we thought it was right. But the Nuremberg trials, they all got executed because ignorance of the law is no defence. That's a fact of maximum law, that you know. So when it all comes to light, and people like me are holding to account, people like you following orders what are unlawful, and people are suffering because of it. See, you ignorant of the law is no excuse. You will be trialed in court.
Because what happened is this Traffic Management Act, which is
an act
which came approved by from the. It's like it's Act of Parliament.
Yeah.
It's discussed in Parliament and then it's implemented by Parliament.
Yeah.
So it's not
no Parliament's authority to get it from us, from the people, through our consent. So anything what they do needs our approval. But they don't. Do you know how they get your approval? They can presume, because a presumption is only true until rebutted. And if I rebut the presumption that we are following their rules because we consented, once I say I don't consent, their presumption was rebutted in law. That's law. See, it's all based on a presumption that people are going along with these rules because they consent to them. But people like me who know the law, and I say I do not consent to these rules and you cannot force them on me, that is against the law. They don't apply to me. I don't pay road tax, don't pay council tax or nothing because I've done the lawful paperwork. But you know, my car, because the police kept stopping me and taking my car off the road because I had no tax, the DVLA have put it on the PNC that my car is taxed, even though I haven't paid it, because I've got building a case against the police for harassment and telling me I have to pay tax when I've proved in court for unrebutted affidavit that I don't have to pay tax. So they put it on to stop the police pulling me all the time, taking my car unlawfully. So they put it on the computer that it's taxed when I haven't paid no tax. See how they work? The criminals, a lot of them, mate. People don't understand the law. They need to learn the law. Yeah, you have a nice day and God bless you, mate. Well, there you go, people. Another order follower.